Hey everyone, welcome to Team Amasian's show, Two Chicks, One Throne, aka a Game of Thrones recap show brought to you by us and Campia.
Hi.
And Kaori Takei. Today we are recapping season 6, episode 7, The Broken Man. And there's so much to get into, including the return of the Hound. Woo! So overall thoughts of this episode, and before we head right into this.
Overall thoughts for episode 7, I am a little bit disappointed in terms of the pacing of this episode. I think it would have fit well for an episode earlier on in the season, but being this far into season 6, I felt like we would just be sprinting to the finish line. So I was a little bit disappointed that, like you said, when we finished the episode, nothing really happened, right? Like, while we got a lot of story, we got a lot of dialogue, nothing really advanced anything that was happening last week and the weeks prior for the setup.
I think what you're saying makes complete sense, that if it was an episode that occurred more in the beginning of the season, it would have felt more valuable.
Right.
But because we're hitting like 3 more episodes left, we want to see more action, and all these things culminate into something much bigger. So although I personally loved this episode, it still was one of the weaker episodes of the season for myself. Even though the Hound did return, there were some great scenes, but I would have wanted to see more at this point in the season. So what we're going to do is we are going to talk about our positives of the show, and then we are going to talk about, of course, things that didn't really work out for us. But you guys, this is a spoiler-filled review, so if you're watching, you probably know that anyway. And you're going to get spoiled. So do you like my Hound haircut?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's actually perfect. We just need to put like an omelet on the side of your face.
Could it be an egg white?
Okay, egg white omelet. It's perfect.
Because
protein face.
Because of the hue of our video today.
Oh yeah, that too. You guys, and we're live, so I'm sorry if you're like, why is she looking down the whole time? I'm actually checking the chat. Hello to those of you that are joining us.
And if you guys can help us out, retweet that we are there. I think, is it on our Twitter? I don't even know.
Yeah, it's on our Twitter.
Yeah, help us retweet and then join the conversation, and we'll be monitoring.
Yeah.
All right, so let's start with some of the positives, and we always do that, and we end up talking about plots. But
I know we'll just get into it. Let's keep going on the Hound. I thought last week we talked about whether or not he's coming back, and then obviously we start this episode and he's back, and I do enjoy the Hound quite a bit, and all of us speculated whether he was dead or alive, but come on. We knew he was going to be alive. So we figure out how he's living. We figure out how he is in present day now. We get Ian McShane, who I was surprised was in this episode of Game of Thrones. You guys recognize him as Blackbeard from Pirates of the Caribbean, but we thought it was not Game of Thrones when we turned on this episode.
Yeah, legit. I was like, are we in the Shire?
We kept looking at each other like, did I turn on the wrong show? Because it did not look like Game of Thrones until the Hound space came up and we said, okay, yes, we're watching the correct show.
I think they did that on purpose too, because they didn't play the credits right away either.
Yeah. Yeah, very, very different. But I'm happy that he's back. He is back. What about you?
I think that he's such an interesting character that, I'm glad he's back, because you never really know what his true motivations are other than himself. But then oftentimes, even though they're for himself, he's still an honorable guy, curiously. You know what I mean? Like, he will side with the good and will side with the bad. But not really pretend, but he's in this ruse that he's doing it for the money or for himself. But he does a lot of things that are honorable. So the fact that right now I feel like he's going to seek vengeance and he's on a rampage, because he's a strong motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to cause some more goodness.
He's a Terminator. Like, he would never die. Like, every time he would be put in one of those situations, he would just never ever die. And obviously he didn't die in the last scene that we saw him in. So I like what you said there, though. We just kind of in this episode really witnessed the conflict of the Hound, whether he was going to actually turn and become a good person, which Ian McShane's character was trying to convince him to do. There's another life for you. But then when they slaughtered all those people, which was really tragic, it was like, no, I'm going back to that life, because now I have to seek revenge on those dudes, which that was really hard to see all those people dead.
Yeah, it was really sad.
Yeah. What else? What other positives?
I loved the fact that anything in this season that has Jon Snow and Sansa Stark together again, I really like those episodes, those scenes, even though it's tragic that she and him aren't that strong anymore.
Right.
I like those scenes because it's nice to see the House Stark stand up. You've kind of seen House Stark really not being that dominant in the past 6 seasons because they've been kind of sloshed on or trying to like, be House Stark, and then they get betrayed by the Freys, or the brother does something stupid, or they get betrayed by Theon Greyjoy. Like a lot of fucked up shit happened to the Starks. So to see them rise, and every time Sansa says their name and how there's an allegiance there with another house, or Jon Snow mentions it, it just makes me happy. And when I see this in this episode, there was a lot of gratifying feeling for me.
Yeah,
to hear that.
I totally agree. I think together they're much stronger. I think that they're still trying to learn how to work with each other in this type of setting. Not just brother sister, but trying to rally the other houses to fight with them. That was interesting because you didn't see everybody automatically saying, yeah, we're with the Starks. It's just a conflict with every house that they visited.
Yeah,
in this episode.
Yeah, and for them going to visit other houses and all that stuff, it's like revisiting a lot of the previous characters that we're revisiting this season. And I really liked Bear Island. I thought that was interesting. Was so cute.
Yeah, it was Lady Lyanna.
Yeah, Lady Lyanna.
And there's 62 soldiers that they were able to get with that. All 62 soldiers, but again, it's like Sansa and Jon are having to learn what these houses, what their perception of the Starks are now, right? Because even Lady Lyanna didn't want to willingly give up her army to them right away. What's the other house that they visited?
They visited that
House Glover.
What, Glover? Yeah,
or Glover or whatever. But again, like he had experienced so much tragedy because of the Starks that he refused to side with them. So it's just
it's
hard.
Like it's like even though Robb Stark is dead, he done fucked up.
Yeah.
By marrying that chick.
Yeah.
And, he like changed, he betrayed the Freys. The Freys hate them now. And then this house, a lot of allegiances that were around with the Starks for thousands of years are gone because he wants to marry Charlie Chaplin's daughter,
Yeah. I mean, it's a different take on, trying to rally people versus Daenerys, who is just having a field day with it. Like every tens of thousands of people are like, we're with you. That's fine. Like,
very good point.
She just has to walk through fire, or her dragon has to come in, and then they're
some titties.
Which I get it. Like, come on, it's a freaking dragon. Like, if I was in that position, I'd be like, okay, yeah, I will fight for you. But the Starks are gonna have a really hard time.
Yes.
And where are they gonna find that army big enough to put up a fight? Do you know?
I don't know. And I love the idea that that you mentioned, that it is kind of like watching another house go through getting a legion. But I think the wildlings is their biggest army, and the more I watch it, the more it just feels like modern day racism, like, oh, wildlings, they suck. I wouldn't fight among wildlings,
It's true.
It's right.
But I'm sorry, I think the wildlings can kick a lot of their asses. I think they can take out at least one of the factions of Daenerys' army.
They've developed to be one of my favorite group of people on the show, especially the redhead who loves Brienne, they've created tons of memes out there, which are hilarious. But they have a sense of humor, and they have true loyalty, even though they're wild, and
True.
Yet they're unpredictable, hence the wildling. But you can see, like, Sam's wife, or whatever that girl, she's super loyal.
Yeah. True.
And Jon, I think Jon learned a lot through the wildlings as well. So I don't know. Hopefully that changes. They need to get together if they want to beat the North. Like, that Jon Renault speech was really good.
That's
it wasn't
true.
Really Jon Renault, but
what's the dude's name?
Davos.
Yeah. I also enjoyed Cersei and Grandma. I call her Grandma Tyrell because I can't remember her name.
Elena, or something like that.
I loved that the dialogue between them when she was sitting there writing the letter, and she basically just lays it out for Cersei. Like,
she's like,
you lost. go, just give up, you know? And she's like, I'm getting the hell out of here, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how this unfolds. I was told that in the book at some point, or I think I was reading Wikipedia, so I could be wrong, but I was told that Jaime, and this might be foreshadowing what happens in very soon because of the previews.
Sure.
Jaime gets called from Cersei because her mountain dies, so she wants him to be her champion.
Oh, snap.
And then he doesn't go. So
wait, and then he doesn't go?
Yeah, he doesn't go because he like realizes that he's been manipulated by her all these years. But
no way.
The book is completely different.
Yeah, I mean, I would be shocked because I mean, we see in the preview.
Yeah.
And we're jumping ahead a little bit, but I think this is a good time to talk about this. Is that Jaime's like, I will, through hell or high water, I will do anything to be with Cersei.
But, I mean, it's his sister.
Such a twisted love story, but I mean, that would be really interesting if the book played out in that fashion on the TV show.
Because then that would mean she truly has nothing left.
Speaking of the mountain, though, I hope we don't see him go down. How would you take out the mountain? He's a mountain.
I don't know.
He's indestructible.
I wish that giant wildling came out with him.
I know.
I think it was massive.
I like how the giant was like, nah, I'm good. I'm not going to fight with you guys. Out of all the people, the one guy you want to say yes. And he's like, I'm good. I'm just going to stay here.
It's like the John Cena of the Game of Thrones. He's like, no. Neck hurts. Make a wish.
SM Down H9 says, I like how this High Sparrow told Marjorie to go back to basically get with Tommen because they need an heir. I know. It was a little awkward.
It felt a very... what's the word? Damn, I forgot the word. When you're hypocritical of a church to be like, you gotta go get some DAC because we need some.
Go do your duty.
Yeah,
like this is such an. I'm sorry, it just really made me uncomfortable.
And Marjorie clearly doesn't see Tommen like that. It's super arranged for her house, and it's just. I'm wondering what Marjorie's up to. It's pretty clear for me that she's up to something. I mean, maybe she gave her grandma a note with the rose of their house, whatever, their house symbol, only to be like, you got to go, you're going to die. Or maybe she was, in fact, giving her another note with that symbol. So who knows?
Yeah, there's obvious meaning to it. Marjorie is the highlight for me of this episode.
Really?
I know we got the Hound back. I know we have a lot of other things to talk about, but Marjorie has always been a favorite character of mine. But I know. I don't think we agree on that. But she's playing the game, and it's just like every episode it unfolds, and she's just like going deeper into this character and playing this game that inevitably she's doing it so that she can have the ultimate power, I'm sure. But just watching her like kind of do that, play this role and have everybody buy into the fact that she's this good person. I'm like, no, she's not. She's probably going to end up being worse than Cersei at some point.
Yeah, as Cersei loses her power, it's always been kind of like an inner battle between Cersei and Marjorie for the battle of power. You know? So Marjorie's winning. If that's the case.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
I'm just really interested to see how that plays out. Let's see. There's a lot of comments in there talking about Lady Stoneheart.
Okay, well, Lady Stoneheart ain't coming back yet. she gone. Yes. Hi.
But
it's okay.
Honestly, I don't think so, right? Wasn't it brought up a few seasons ago when she should have made her appearance based on the books and she didn't?
But we're also behind in some storylines as well. So I mean, you never know with this thing. I know that like, with Marjorie, I think reading the book, she is not really useless, but she's supposed to be super beautiful, but she's not a huge chess player or a huge chess piece. Whereas in the TV show, she's really pivotal.
Yeah.
So we don't know. Maybe she could come back. But I think Catelyn Stark's character has said that there's no coming back.
She's not coming back.
Okay. But I don't know. You guys, you can tell me I'm wrong.
Well, Jon Snow was like, I
read a lot of things. You know?
That's true. I mean, there's so many theories out there. But
yeah.
They could just be playing with our emotions here. But what about the whole stuff going on with Blackfish?
Riverdale, Archie Comics. Yeah. I thought that was cool, but it was a very mellow. Those scenes are pretty mild for me,
Right.
and I felt, damn, Jaime Lannister and his house showed the phrase how losery they are, and that makes it even sadder because the phrase are who kicked the Stark's asses.
I know. Jaime just had to show up and he's like, oh, I'm taking over the siege right now.
And all he had to do was bitch slap somebody.
Okay, bye. And the whole thing with what's his face? Edmure?
Edmure, yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're like so sure they could bring him there and threaten Blackfish to.
And then Uncle's like, no.
To give up, and he's like, no, thank you.
Yeah. I do like how he cares more about Arya and Sansa's whereabouts. He's like, hey, I let you go because you were supposed to bring them back. Or are they? You're useless to me. And I have the armor, not on Jaime's. Jaime's was weird. It's like samurai style. But the Blackfish's armor was like scales.
I know.
I thought it was pretty cool. I loved it.
I have a bag like that. That's why I kept thinking, like, that's so bad. It's kind of Kylo Ren-ish.
Why are you not wearing it?
I don't know. I should have brought it out. But I mean, I think the most enjoyable part of that scene for me was them sizing each other up. Jaime and Blackfish, you know, and kind of them throwing verbal jabs at each other.
Yeah, and it's a shame because I think that Blackfish has a lot of smart things to say. He's clever and witty, but I don't think he stands a chance with Oathbreaker.
Yeah, no, not at all. And I'm interested to see when Sansa
gets there.
Yeah,
I was hoping they'd get there this season. I mean, this episode.
Me too.
I would have been down for them to cut out another. Like Arya's death,
or the 10 minutes it took for them to lower the bridge. For Jaime and Blackfish to meet. Yeah, sometimes they kind of prolong like one shot where I'm like, why is this taking so long to put that bridge down? But I totally agree. I wish it happened. It would have made sense for it to happen in this episode.
Yeah, the Shire took a long time too. You know,
the Shire. So true. This was it was a very bright episode, and they shot in so many different locations for this particular episode. Yeah. I don't know if it was just more noticeable this time around, but speaking of beautiful, like, scenery, you go into where the Greyjoys find themselves and all these beautiful naked women.
Like first hooker join of the season.
Yeah, exactly. It took a little while. A little while, but Yara's going to get some.
And then we questioned 2 questions. We said, does he still feel things?
Yes.
And the other question was, where does he pee out of?
Do we know the answers? You guys
have an answer, let us know, because I just, as he was drinking beer, I'm like, dang, where's he going?
It was just so sad to like see him in that environment and knowing how Theon used to be.
Yes.
Yeah. But I did you like the pep talk from his sister, big sister?
Yes. Do you think it was genuine?
I do.
Yeah, I do. I think because he genuinely talked her up when they were trying to pick a queen / king.
Exactly.
He pretty much made her trust him again.
Right.
And I think there is love there. She's the only one that would try to go save him.
Yeah.
When her dad was like, nah, dude, like, he has no dick, it's fine.
That's true.
And she's like, no. And it sucks because we are reminded in every episode that he's in some form or fashion, that he has no penis.
I know.
It doesn't matter. It's like, it's just inherently, we're just like, oh yeah, that's right. Thank you guys for reminding us somehow.
Now I'm depressed for him because there's all these beautiful women and he has no
penis.
Yeah. But they're off to Marine.
Yes, that's interesting that they're off to Marine. I think that's pretty. It's like so crazy that we're starting to get all these characters that are on an adventure to basically crash into each other.
Yeah,
and we're gonna see how it works out.
Yes,
because we've watched all of their journeys separately for the past 6 seasons, and now a lot of them are going to intertwine.
We've never met. Yeah,
and it's gonna be interesting to see how they fare. I'm curious to see what happens to Arya. Let's talk about her.
Yes.
Because she wants to go home.
Yeah, and she had a plan. She had all the money she needed. She was going to leave at dawn. And then stab happens.
She got saved, though.
For the watch.
I mean, yeah. She has no, well, she is the red woman.
Yeah.
But I felt that
Claire says maybe Theon has a mangina.
Oh.
Sorry.
What does that even look like?
I don't know, but let's go back to Arya.
Arya, now I've lost my train of thought, but I'm just thinking that I know she's not the strongest warrior yet, but I felt that was kind of a cop-out how she survived. I can't explain it. I get it, but I felt that she should have. I don't want her to die, but the way it was handled, any other normal person would have died.
Well, and you said this when we were watching it, like they're such warriors, like they've been fighting each other for quite a while now, that wouldn't you have thought one of them would have just ousted the other one right then?
Yeah,
and
it was
there?
weird.
Yeah.
You know? And then she went to go see if Arya was still alive, waited a while. It's okay, she's gone. Like,
yeah, I know.
it was weird.
Yeah.
It's like it was like, did you want her to survive? Which I know you didn't, because you hated her guts from the moment she got there.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Maybe, who knows? Arya has like a vengeful, mentality. She might want to go back and kill that girl.
And what was up with her just walking through the streets and all the townspeople kind of just staring? Like, I almost thought it was going to be a sequence where the townspeople weren't seeing what we were seeing. And
also Arya, she was so smart and eloquent last episode, where she sat there with Needle in the dark, knowing that lady's coming for her. In this episode, she's just walking around. She's like, I gotta go. I gotta go. Got some coins to steal if they need it. It was just. It was. You're right. It was a little weird. It was a little weird, the transition. Yeah. The only other note I have is Sansa's letter. I don't know if you had anything else. I want to know who she's sending that to. Is it Littlefinger? Is it Littlefinger? Who does he have, though? I don't know. But I know because they're experiencing all this like kind of pushback. Desperation. On them. Yeah, exactly. So who would she write to besides him? I was thinking. Maybe it's someone we haven't seen yet. Maybe it's the giant wildling. Dear giant wildling. Dear giant wildling. Please change your mind about fighting for us. Oh man. Well, do you have anything in this episode that you really didn't enjoy? I mean, I think I kind of mentioned mine was, unfortunately, the Arya situation wasn't believable. Granted, I'm glad she survived, but I wish they would have created a different scene for that, for me. Yeah. Yeah, I totally understand. I would say just kind of the whole Blackfish interaction was a little bit anticlimactic for me. A little flat. Yeah, I know they're setting it up, but again, as Game of Thrones viewers, we want more with every episode. And being in episode 7 of season 6, you would think shit was going to go down. We didn't see a lot of, obviously, it's hard to dedicate time to all the characters, but we didn't see any screen time for Tyrion or for Daenerys. Those characters. We got a lot of the Hound. I was also kind of sad that Ian McShane made an appearance on Game of Thrones and then is not going to come back. He started the episode and it was dead by the end of the episode. So for an actor like that, he made an appearance. I know, it was nice to see him, but still, it was like, that's it. He must have been happy. Sure. He's going to live in the Shire forever. He's in the Shire now. I would say the negative is also, and this is more just me being a viewer, and it's nothing to do with the show itself. It's just the circumstance of the way the story rolls. Is I'm really sad that Jon Snow is having such a hard time getting his army together, because I'm rooting for him so bad. I know. I'm rooting for the Starks to like get their mojo back and kick the Bolton's asses. So I'm curious to see how all this unfolds, who they end up gathering, whose allegiances they get. Yeah. Hopefully we're going to see an all-out war. We're going to see Ramsay Bolton's dick hung somewhere. Oh. And let Theon be the one to do it. Yeah. Oh. So I want to see that. I want to see all that happen. Questions from the chat, like, do you think Bolton is going to be dead by the end of the season? Or do you think they'll prolong? I don't see a reason. I don't know, but I don't see a reason why they would prolong him. I think there's bigger fish to fry. And I would imagine the next season or 2 remaining, they would probably have to, one, get a king of the North, or have the North gather together, and 2, kick the fucking what are they called, White Walkers' asses. So there's like 2 really big wars that are bigger than Bolton. Yeah, they just need to get rid of, so get rid of his ass. Everyone wants him. What do you think, Anne? Do you think he's going to survive? I don't think so. I also don't think we talked about before we started. I don't think girl with no name is going to survive either. I don't get it. One of those 2 have to die, Arya or girl with no name. I almost thought that Arya was going to say her name when the guy was like, "Who are you?" Yeah. I thought she was going to say, "I'm Arya Stark." And I was like, yes, she said Stark. I know. But she didn't. She just threw another bag of coins.
here, and then she took it back. What else? Anything else?
I think that about covers it. Do you have any predictions?
Yes, and somebody jogged my memory here, and I can't find the comment now. But let me see. Oh well, I know for definitely. That's a new phrase here.
Mhm.
That the Hound is gonna go kick some people's asses with that axe. That's
Yeah.
for sure. Cersei, I think, wasn't more. While the look on her face when Grandma Tyrell told her like all of that shit, it kind of threw her into perspective. I think it also lit a fire in her, and I think in next week's episode we're going to see Cersei kind of just go crazy and take the mountain with her and try to kill some folks or something.
I mean, I think that woman is crumbling because this is the one season where I look at her and I actually have moments that I feel bad for her. And in the previous 5 seasons,
Yeah,
you're like, you got what was coming, girl. You deserved it. You earned it. And
yeah.
It's funny how Grandma Marjorie, I love calling Grandma Marjorie.
I know.
Basically reminded me why Cersei's a bitch. She's like, oh, look, you actually are the one that started this whole thing.
Good point. It's a good point.
Them.
If
so
you
this is all your bad.
Yeah, that's such a good point. Like if you have forgotten as a viewer as to why you should be hating her still, here's all the reasons why. Imran asked, do you think Jaime will kill Cersei? That's interesting.
No.
Never.
No. I don't think so. I think his love for her is like eternal.
Yeah.
I think it'll always be there. But I think if it goes along with the Wikipedia page I read, he's going to take a stand for himself because he's not going to always be weak in love for her.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I think one more comment from the chat here. Priyanshu, sorry if I mispronounced, says they think Sansa wrote to Baelish for Knights of the Vale.
Ooh.
I like that. Yeah, I do like that.
Yeah, you mentioned that a little bit, Littlefinger.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Baelish is a little sneakeroo. But I do think he does have a kind of gross allegiance to Sansa.
Oh, forever.
Yeah. Because
it's bizarre.
You're close enough to your mom.
God, it's so weird. But it's almost like it is a little bit nice to know that she can count on him in that way, as awkward and weird as it is.
Yeah. And also, I'm curious to see why, in the prediction-wise, I'm curious to see why in the preview we saw Brienne pretty much tell Jaime Lannister, like, I'm going to have to kill you if it was an honorable thing. If I had to choose the honorable thing. It's like, oh, dang.
Yeah.
You know? So.
I know.
I've always wanted them to do it, but that's not going to happen. She's like his Samwise Gamgee, you know? She is. So it just wouldn't work.
So good. Now I want to see it happen.
But anyways, thank you guys for coming over and also joining the chat.
Yeah.
And, let us know what you thought of this episode of Game of Thrones. Did you like it? What was your favorite part? What was something that didn't work out for you so well? And don't forget to tweet us at Team Amasian and also go to our website, teamamasian.com. Don't forget, thumbs up, rate, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Tell a friend a day. We only have 3 episodes left, so don't forget, every Sunday, right after the show, hop on over here. I am Kaori. You can follow me everywhere with the tag KAORIOUS, Kaorius. And Ann, where can people follow you?
You can follow me at Ann Campia.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll catch you next time for another 2 Chicks, 1 Throne.
Bye.